Hey, sorry, I know the episode's kind of weird, but that's what it's all about, just putting out what I felt like at the time. So yeah, hope you enjoy. So I had something I was gonna upload today. Um, I don't know, I just didn't like how it came out. Again, it's not that I'm editing stuff out. I just sometimes I'm just decide not to upload. I I record a lot of my information. I talk a lot. Again, I've said it before. Like, talk to myself, but that's how I pray. I pray out loud, but sometimes it sounds like uh, somebody that didn't know I was praying would probably think I was talking to myself. But so I'm not gonna upload that. Yeah, I'm not gonna upload that. I'm not gonna do much tonight. I'm not feeling like it. I'm really tired. I was going to, like, I mentioned in the other video, but I drove down to Las Vegas and just didn't like the vibe. Yeah, ultimately that's just what it was. I decided to go backwards a little bit and see if I could, yeah, to see what was going on, man. There's a certain spot where, like, I just felt an overwhelming sensation of, like, spirit, God, as it were. And with that being what this whole thing is about, ultimately I know that's what it's about. It's me working on my faith and establishing it more, so I can reach help, so I can be a vessel, basically, for God to speak through, to help other people, to minister to them. You never know who you're gonna cross, what kind of influence you might have on that person. I'm speaking of myself, but it is very important for everybody to show the main commandments. There was a ton of commandments in the Old Testament. The New Testament, basically, it said love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put that in my everyday life. There's been times that I don't feel a lot of love, but my emotions come and go. I'm not always feeling up top hunky dory. I'm not always feeling down in the dumps. But I do, thankfully, today, and I have for a while. I feel a range of emotions, which is new to me. It's getting used to them is challenging, because when you go through I've spent from 12 years old until a couple of years ago, I was full-fledged in my addiction. That's all I cared about. I've had a couple slips since, and don't get me wrong, but I was full-fledged into it, and it's just, there was when you're in an addiction, I don't know who's watching that has dealt with it before, but that is all you think about. At one point I had a wife, a child, and my whole thing was I cared way more. I'm 100% admitting that, way more about getting high than I did about tending to their needs. And because of it, those blessings were taken away from me. When it first happened, I was really upset, mad, mad at her for taking my son from me. Later on, I'm not mad at her. So don't get me wrong. There's always two sides, right? But I could only see what she did. I never could see my side of the story. Same goes for any relationship I've been in. Honestly, it's always easy to see them, what they're doing bad, than to admit the things that I'm coming up short with. And so yeah, I was married for technically 9 years total. Um, when we split up, my son at the time, my rights had been removed, but my son at the time was, I want to say he was 5 or 6. I'm so sorry. It's been a long time ago, and like I said, drugs just they take a lot of your, a lot of things are a little bit cloudy, you know, in the past. But I think he was about 6 years old, and I didn't go to the hearing. We had been split up for a long time, but I didn't go to the hearing. All right, well, we'll talk a little bit more as it cut off on me again. But so yeah, basically what I was saying was that I went to Vegas. I decided not to stay there. I just didn't like the vibes. Decided to come back to where I felt more comfortable spiritually, and where I was starting to see some growth. And that's what this whole thing is about. I know ultimately it's getting in touch with spirit. Yeah, I was talking about a little bit about my addiction and stuff, where it got started. So I started when I was 12, and up until a couple years ago, I was full-fledged basically in my addiction. I've been through some treatment centers and stuff, but when you're in an addiction, what I was saying was that's the only thing you think about. It's the only thing that you care about, really. It doesn't matter what the situation was. I was married for a long time, and because I didn't treat them right. You know, I wasn't attentive to what they needed. I was literally selfish. That's all I thought about was myself and the next time I could get high. And it's hard not to blame. Like, I have a lot of different thoughts going on in my head, because going from a disease model of addiction, you cannot see past the drug. And so I didn't have a choice. After I got started, I chose to get started doing, yes, I did that. But then after that, I didn't. My own thoughts, I fight them, because I feel like it goes on in my head. I feel like if I loved them enough, then I would have just stopped. I fight with that constantly. Like, what in the world? Like, I really love them. If they really meant something to me, I would have just stopped. So I do have that battle going on in my head. Like, one side is, I understand medically that it's a disease, and you can't, it doesn't matter. It's not that I didn't love them, it's that I was addicted to drugs, you know. But on my side, I guess, I don't know, from the love standpoint, like, it's hard to admit that, like, I don't know, I cared deeply for them, but I cared more for getting my next fix. So, but yeah, so, sorry, this guy was yelling, I didn't understand what he was saying. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but tonight I'm just gonna stay here, and I'll go more into detail about, like, my battle through the addiction and stuff, and where it is. But yeah, that's all I have for tonight. Hope y'all are doing good. Hope you had a good day. If nobody's told you that they love you today, I do care about you, and I hope you feel better, get better if you're doing not good, and if you're doing good, and I'm celebrating with you. Have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Peace out.